The battlefield trembled with tension. Two armies faced each other across the valley, but one figure stood out, a giant named Goliath. Day after day, he shouted insults at Israel's army, daring anyone to fight him. No one moved. Fear gripped every soldier's heart. Then, a young shepherd boy arrived. David wasn't there to fight. He came to bring food to his brothers. But when he heard Goliath's taunts, something stirred inside him, courage fueled by faith. Who is this giant that dares to mock God's army? David asked. His words caught the attention of King Saul. The king looked at the boy, doubt clouding his eyes. You can't fight Goliath, Saul said. You're just a boy, and he's a warrior. But David stood tall. I've protected my sheep from lions and bears, he declared. God helped me then, and he'll help me now. David's face was unshakable. Saul offered David his armor, but it was too big and heavy. Instead, David chose his shepherd's tools, a sling and 5 smooth stones from a nearby stream. Simple weapons, but in David's hands, they became instruments of God's power. As David stepped onto the battlefield, Goliath laughed. Am I a dog? He roared, that you come at me with sticks. But David's reply silenced the giant's mockery. You come with sword and spear, but I come in the name of the Lord. The air grew still. David ran forward, his sling whirling above his head. One stone flew true, striking Goliath right between the eyes. The giant stumbled, then fell face first to the ground. In a moment, David stood over Goliath. He took the giant's own sword and finished what his face had started. The Philistine army, seeing their champion defeated, turned and ran. Israel's soldiers erupted in cheers. The shepherd boy had become a warrior of faith. David's victory wasn't just his own, it belonged to God and to all of Israel. This story teaches us that true strength comes from trusting in God, not in our own abilities or the size of our enemies. David faced a giant with nothing but a sling and unwavering faith. He knew that when we stand with God, no challenge is too big to overcome. So remember, little ones, you might feel small sometimes, just like David did. But with God on your side, you can face any giant in your life. Whether it's a bully at school, a difficult test, or a scary situation, God is with you. He can turn your small stones into mighty weapons of faith. David and Goliath's story reminds us that courage isn't about being the biggest or the strongest. It's about trusting God and doing what's right, even when it seems impossible. So be brave, have faith, and remember, sometimes the biggest victories come from the smallest warriors who trust in the biggest God.